Hi, it's Des of Peg and Des. Peg is still on travel, I'm holding the fort down, and we have to discuss Scandal. Before we get into Scandal, make sure to subscribe to this channel, like this video, love on this video, share it, and leave some comments. There's a lot to comment on this week's episode of Scandal. Comment number 1, Shonda Rhimes, I don't appreciate the fact that you decided to use my namesake as the texting whore in this week's episode. Desiree Oaks. Not cool, Shonda. Not cool. But before we actually get into Desiree, the senator, and the whole bit with his lawyer wife, we really need to talk about the overarching, most important part of this week's episode, and that is Liv, her dad, Jake, Huck, the president. I mean, there's so much going on around Liv's father. I can tell you that when we saw Command last season, I could not have anticipated that he would become such a pivotal character in this season. I mean, everyone's behavior is revolving around Command. It's like he's got everybody by the balls, including his own daughter. Liv is afraid of him, but I don't know how I feel about that storyline, about her being in fear of her father hurting her. We saw her telling Jake last week that she's concerned about her father following her and, the things that he does to other people. But I never got the sense that she feared that he would actually hurt her. But Jake's point to her this week was, your father will hurt you, and very badly. He even insinuated that her father would kill her. And I don't know that I buy that. I don't know that I buy that her father would kill her. That was just hard for me to settle in on. I get all of the diabolical things that he does to other people, the soldiers, B613 and the whole bit, but to physically harm your own daughter, I'm not quite sure of that one. And I don't know if I feel like the story is stretching a little bit there. Tell me what you think about that. I mean, do you think that that's reasonable? I don't know, maybe I'm alone on that one. But Jake feels like it's time for him to take Command down. We even see him sitting, 10, 15 feet away when Cyrus and Command are talking about the Pete Foster situation, which in and of itself was also an interesting story. So we know that the president knows about Pete Foster, but what we don't know is still what happened at Remington. I feel like the Remington is going to be this season's version of Who is the Mole? Remember last season's Who is the Mole? That's what Remington seems to me like this season. I can't wait to figure out what kind of flight Fitz was doing that Pete Foster had to assume responsibility for the flight and then even felt so inclined to tattoo the flight plan on his body. I mean, that also was kind of interesting to me. And even that also, I still can't understand what would provoke Command to keep him alive. If you've got the flight plan and it's on your body, if I dispose of your body, won't the flight plan go away too? It was interesting to me why he even got to survive through Huck coming to kill him. Huck isn't on board with Jake's plan. Huck's not interested, but I don't really believe that. I hear the words coming out of Huck's mouth, but I think Huck wants a little revenge of his own, and he seems like he's doing a lot of investigating. A lot. Did y'all notice when he was over at Arlington Cemetery hiding behind a tree and no one noticed him? I'm gonna need the Secret Service to do better. Last week, we had 2 intruders. This week, Huck is 10 feet away from the president and nobody knows about it. I need everybody to look alive, pay attention. It's not going well. Let's talk about the men in Olivia's life. Let's roll call them. You got Fitz. Can't really trust Fitz. I know she wants to trust Fitz, but you can't. And I don't believe she ever could, and I don't think that she ever will be able to fully trust him. He's not a trustworthy character. He's not in a trustworthy spot. I'm sure a lot of people are going to have something to say about that. Huck was the trustworthy guy until last week. Now, he told Olivia he just needed some time, but I can't quite tell what he's up to. I mean, he's off balance again. You saw how he exploded on Olivia, and then now he explodes on Quinn this week, telling her, you're not really caring about me. You're asking questions to be nosy. So Huck is not as predictable as he used to be, but I don't think that he would turn fully on Olivia. Although I don't know. This Command thing really has Huck messed up. Then you've got Jake. I don't think that she can trust Jake either. I mean, Jake proved last season that he's not trustworthy. Granted, he was following orders, but he was still spying on her. So, no. Then you've got Cyrus. Cyrus has never been trustworthy. And then you've got her dad. Is dad gonna kill me? Is dad not gonna kill me? All of these men in her life, the only one who's been consistent is our good friend Columbus Short. He still can't get any lines. He still can't get any attention, but Columbus Short, the faithful gladiator. I like it. I like it, and I want a storyline, and I'm gonna ask for it every single week until I get it, as if Shonda Rhimes is watching these videos herself. So, okay, let's now get into the senator and the wife situation. So let's get back to Desiree Oaks. Desiree Oaks and the senator and the wife. Of course, we learned that the wife was the one that killed Desiree. Here's the thing that I didn't understand. Over some sexting, though, I mean, granted, it's not good to sext. It's not good to do that when you're married. It's not good to send nasty text messages even when you're not married. They may get you in some trouble, especially if you're in political office. But to be out here killing people? Because see, at the time that she killed the girl, she didn't know that there were other women. I mean, I think she got so angry when she realized there were other women because she realized all that killing she would have to do. There are so many people to kill. And then even during the trial, he was still sexting. You know what that reminded me of was Anthony Weiner and all of the stuff that went on with Weiner, Huma Abedin, and then during his mayoral run in New York City, he was still sexting, I think, not during the mayoral run, but just before it, he was still engaging in those behaviors while the incident had been several years ago, or a couple of years ago. Basically, he didn't stop after he got caught the first time, which is comparable to the senator. Senator said, I'm bored. I was thinking, if your man's going to be bored and he's going to participate in illicit behavior, is sexting really all that bad? It's embarrassing. It's very embarrassing. It's disrespectful to the family, and you can't count on the people who receive the text to actually keep them quiet. But in the grand scheme of things of what people could be out here doing, I'm kind of like Huma Abedin with mine. Like, hey, you did it. It's inappropriate. I'm going to put you on punishment. Have a seat. But I don't need to kill anybody over it. That lawyer just seems so unnecessary. Olivia was double-crossed, and that's her whole thing all the time. Her clients have to tell her the truth. So it made me think, is she off her game a little bit? I don't know. You know how they use the media in this show to serve as like the conscience for some of these people? Or I guess not necessarily their conscience, but something that picks at their insecurities. For example, last episode or episode before last, when Melly was watching television and they were talking about how she potentially had a run for office, she was watching the news and they said, you have a run for office, but now we can't imagine that happening. Is she just a crazy wife in an affair? That got to Melly. Then this week we see Olivia sitting in front of the television and they're talking about how Olivia Pope used to be respected in this town. Once again, using the media to play on the insecurities of the cast members. But either way, I didn't like how that went down. I felt like Olivia got duped. I don't like seeing Olivia get duped. She just seems so all over the place this season. And it's okay because, not okay, but it's understandable because your father's trying to kill you. I mean, I get it. I get it. According to Jake, dad is out for blood. Melly made a very big mistake this week. She spoke when she wasn't supposed to speak. Someone's mic was still on. And the other thing too is the lady didn't tell Melly her mic was on. That was actually the first thing I thought. Like, why didn't that lady say that, my mic is on? But Melly also was just talking so fast. There wasn't anything that lady could do about it. And so now Lisa Kudrow is the new power player in the Beltway. Lisa Kudrow on Scandal. I was excited to see her. I like the characters that she tends to play. I also like her voice. It's very quirky. So this upcoming episode, we're going to see Cyrus really trying to play against Josephine. That's her name on the show, Josephine. And Josephine is trying to be president, and Melly is not helping Fitz with the women's vote. So I really am interested to see how all of that's going to play out. But did you guys notice when Cyrus was really going in on Melly, and then Fitz reached out, touched hand, Melly gave him a look? Melly was looking for some connection in that moment. That man kept reading the paper. Fitz was as disengaged as ever. And I think she was hoping that that moment was going to mean something to him. It really didn't. He was really just reaching out. And then that was that. And that's why she stormed off, I believe. I think that's everything this episode. I mean, we really need to sort out this Remington situation. I'm wondering if it's going to be an all-season kind of thing, or maybe we'll wrap it up within the next couple of episodes. I'm hoping they'd let us know what Fitz's involvement in Remington was next week. Was it a flight plan that you accidentally killed some villagers? Did someone die on the plane? What in the world happened during the flight? Why did Pete Foster need to say that he did that flight? And is Olivia's dad gonna kill her? Outstanding questions. All right, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure to subscribe to this channel, like this video, share it, and come back next week for more Scandal. Goodbye.